Broadcast Hippo Digital Media.
Come on!
Broadcast Hippo Digital Media.
Now, our feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
Andrew Z. Call up that Andrew Z. I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning, yeah. Come on! Good morning! Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, February 1st, 2022, in the year of our Lord. Welcome to the show, everybody. We got Chris Teeple, Phelan Fairchild, TikTok influencer Krista, and meteorologist, retired meteorologist Kimberly Newman. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's early. Let's do this. Andrew Z in the morning. Woo! Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. Just go ahead, Tiefel.
I got to say, Andrew, I'm very confused right now.
Why?
I feel like I'm on a long-running television show that has been on so long that the main cast has all gone on to other projects and been replaced by new people, and I'm still just like the anchor character that's still there. Like, hey, you remember we've been on for 20 years. This guy was here in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, the one that hasn't been picked up off for other options because he's the least of them all, so he just stays in the original project.
It's a steady paycheck.
It's a steady paycheck. All right, just to let you guys know, I just got a report in from the Meijer grocery store in Maumee. They had no produce or bagged salads except for a few scattered ones. Everyone is getting ready to hunker down and eat salad during the storm, apparently. So there you go. Someone also said they will give up their firstborn for a bunch of bananas. So if there's any,
is your firstborn cute?
Sounds like a shitty trade to me.
Right?
I got a refrigerator full of bananas, honey, but when you said firstborn, I was like, that's not a fair trade.
Does it come with accessories? Or is
it does not come with accessories, just the kid. Well, you might get some clothes. I don't know, maybe a bag of clothes or something, but the rest is up to you to take care of this damn thing. You know, people conned us years ago. Krista, you've got a lot of kids, right? Don't you have like 10 kids?
No.
Do you have any kids?
You froze.
Do you have any kids?
No, his face just does that sometimes, Krista.
Yeah,
it's the Botox. It happens to the best of us, honey.
I have 5 kids, and someone conned us years ago and said, "Oh, kids are fun. Kids are cool. You'll love having kids." Why
are you putting kids in quotes?
I don't know.
Like, are you also known, Chris, as the help when they reach a certain age? That's the only purpose.
Like, are you hiring midgets and saying to your kids? Like, what is this?
I don't know. I just they said it would be fun, and don't be conned by this. By what society is telling you, because it's really not. They suck your money, they suck your time, they suck your energy. Anyway, just please don't fall for the trap, everybody. It's all bullshit. All right, so Kimberly Newman, we're gonna start with you, and then we'll go over to huge weather system supposedly coming in, Snowmageddon, the snowpocalypse of 2022. Everybody is freaking out. First off, they're talking about anywhere between 1 and 100 inches, somewhere in between there, it's gonna fall. And sounds
like me bragging to a lady.
That's accurate.
You look at all these forecasts and they're all from men, and I'm like, well, of course they are going to overestimate. So I had to bring a woman in. To get the real scoop, and it's going to start anytime from right this second to Thursday. So I don't know. So give us try to lock it down for us a little bit.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So early this morning, I was taking a look. I actually still get notifications on my phone, which it's kind of one of those nostalgic things that I don't know if I can get rid of it yet, but I get text messages from the National Weather Service when they issue new reports, updates, and things like that. And I got to check the time because this one woke me up early this morning. Oh yeah, like 3:30, they issued a winter storm warning. So first step in the process is to know the difference between everything. We had a watch in place yesterday, and that's like, hey, we're baking a cake. We got the flour, we got the eggs, we got the sugar, but all we have are the ingredients, right? When you get a warning, it's essentially like the oven is on, the cake is in, we will have a cake, right? So when we're putting together a storm like this, I think the funniest thing that most folks don't realize is that when the storm doesn't exist yet, there's nothing to track. So up until today, we didn't have anything to look at. Now with our short range models and more of the high resolution data that's coming in, we have a better sense of what's going to happen. I will say, Chris, not a word. But all the forecasts that I looked at today have
that's the national Doppler map, and I ain't seen nothing.
Just let you know, Kimberly, real quick. Chris lives to be an asshole. Like if you know
first off, no, I don't.
Hold on.
Who lives to be an asshole?
You do.
I'm not Michael Douglas and falling down.
Wait, you know the Muppets that sit in the balcony, the two judges. Were they Mortimer and whatever their names are? Chris swallowed one and became both of them. That's how much of an asshole he is.
All I'm saying is I have lived in Toledo, as you pointed out, now more than a dozen years.
Uh-huh.
All right. I have seen Toledo do a lot of dumb things. And I have been through many winters here. And not once has the weatherman ever been accurate about snow totals.
Okay, but here's the difference. The difference is everybody is on the same page. Like I've never seen that before. I've seen variations, but everyone is pretty much on the same page that we're going to see more than 12 inches. Now, don't let Kimberly do her thing and don't be an asshole till the end. Okay, go ahead.
She addressed me. I didn't get in there.
Oh, don't do that, Kimberly.
Well, I was going to say, so originally when this started and Snowmageddon, Snowpocalypse, whatever the phrase you want to use is, that's what it looked like. And a meteorologist just in general, we get excited about this stuff. So it is one of those things where there's wishful thinking and then there's realism. And so sometimes when the first forecast comes out, you have to take it with a grain of salt because that meteorologist is probably thinking, if this really happens the way that it's projected to, this is going to be crazy. So I was trying to do some research this morning. It has been years since we have had a blizzard warning in our area. That would be for me the real signal to anyone out there watching, listening, paying attention that this is serious. So my expectation is that Thursday we will have some whiteout conditions. And that may result in some blizzard warnings. That means we have strong winds gusting over 25 miles an hour for a consistent period of time, less than a quarter mile visibility, and obviously just, terrible conditions on the roads. If I back up, though, the actual start time of everything is tomorrow morning. Today, if we get anything, it's rain. We're warm enough today, especially in the upper layers of the atmosphere, that even as snow crystals fall through, they'll melt before they come to the ground. Then what happens is we move into the overnight hours into Wednesday morning. The upper atmosphere starts to cool enough that everything comes down as more of a crystal shape. And even if we have a brief period of sleet or freezing rain, I think it quickly changes over to snow between about 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow. So that gives us like a lunchtime time frame. We had chatted a little bit yesterday in the group chat, and I think it's going to be a smart decision for schools to actually close tomorrow. A delay isn't going to do anything, but those school buses are not going to want to take the kids home in the conditions that will be actively happening 3-4 o'clock on Wednesday.
That's why you hope that what is that? You hope that the superintendents say, hey, it's not going to be nice in the morning, and then get the kids out there, and then in the afternoon it's a disaster. So you're thinking if they're smart, tomorrow and Thursday are going to be no-goes for school because tomorrow afternoon is when all hell's going to break loose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And have you ever seen it? I know, Kimberly, you said blizzard warnings haven't happened in this area in a long time. I don't think I've seen as sure a forecast from so many people that this is going to happen. This one ain't going to miss us.
Right, exactly. And this one is really targeting us directly. The memory that I have, do you guys remember, and I'd have to check, let me see. What year did Katy Perry do the Super Bowl halftime show?
Oh, geez. I don't think we have.
2015. Thank you, Siri.
Okay.
So in 2015.
Oh, she wasn't asking us.
Well, I mean, just a general ask, I guess.
We wouldn't have known anyway.
In 2015, the station I was working for at the time put most of us at a hotel overnight. We ended up running into Gio Benitez from ABC News because they were in town to cover the snow that we were going to get that day. And that was Super Bowl weekend, 2015. So that is one memory that I have crystal clear in my mind, that we had a forecast days in advance. And it's tough in news to convince management. And the fact that they put us in a hotel was a big deal. Because we walked to work. We all just like trudged through the snow and walked to work. There was no way we were getting our car on the road. So, 3 a.m., we're just carrying our coffee 4 blocks down the way. So that's the last memory I have of a really solid, confirmed, they're saying high confidence is the phrase, right? Forecast like this.
Now you drop the Gio Benitez ABC News on me. I interviewed Ginger Z on Friday, so just letting you know.
I love her.
I got my own stuff going on, Kimberly. Okay, you're not the only big deal around here. By the way, can I just sit there and watch Phelan? Like Phelan, you need to have a camera on you 24/7 and just pay for it, because I mean, first of all, you're glowingly winter-esque beautiful, but then you got cats jumping all over you, and it's what is going on?
I don't know. Kimberly had me up until she started talking about cake, and then I was gone. That was all I could think about. I was wondering what kind of cake. Did it have sprinkles on it? What the frosting flavor was? Everything afterward, I might have to watch the news because I derailed, honey.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. All right. So anyway, buckle in, everybody. By the way, Kimberly is retired meteorologist, but I don't think you ever lose your love of weather. But now you do PR for the Victory Center, and you've got a big event coming up. We'll talk about a little bit later on as well. We're going to add Gina in here. Good morning, Gina.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. So I want to talk to Krista. Krista is a TikTok influencer. So Krista, I want to start with you. When did you go from scrolling and watching TikTok? What motivated you, and how long ago did you say, you know what, I can make videos? Well, I mean, this isn't that big a deal.
It was, I think, March of last year. I held off on downloading TikTok for a long time because I didn't want to conform. I didn't want to do it. Yeah. And then I had like a week off of work or something, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? I'll download it. And I did. And of course I wanted to like play around with it and figure out how it worked. And I made some stupid TikToks of my dog. And then I just like didn't make any for a while. And then I just started making them, and then it just snowballed from there. And that's why I said earlier that it's embarrassing, because like my videos are so stupid. Like they're not even funny. I just lost one of my AirPods. So
they are but they are. Well, here, okay. So when did you? So you just started making them for fun. Obviously, you don't start on TikTok to become an influencer. Good morning, Ashley. You don't.
Hi.
You don't jump on TikTok to become an influencer. When did you start doing videos and like, oh, people are like watching them and stuff?
Honestly, I don't know. I should have scrolled further back and to look and see what some of my first ones were. My boyfriend races a sprint car, so I know that I did like some with like sprint car racing, and then I did one about getting stuck behind Amish people in Ohio because it was driving me fucking crazy. And I was like, I'm sure there's people that can relate to this.
Well, see, I think for us, because in this part of Ohio, there aren't a lot of Amish people. You do see them, but it's like seeing Black people in Perrysburg. You still look because it's still interesting because you're not used to seeing them. So Amish people are still running around, but it's still cool to us. Like if I get stuck behind an Amish person, that's cool. You obviously live in a part of the state where it happens a lot, so you must be rural.
Well, I am, yes, but at the time I was working in a straight up Amish community. So my commute to work was like, I was stuck behind buggies and bicycles and scooters and horses and fucking tractor. Like everything, and I would get so pissed.
Dude, how great would the rush hour be? You have like 10 buggies in front of you. You're like, God, I get stuck in traffic every time. Like,
How do
I learned
Amish
that if
people
I-
beep their horns?
yeah.
They don't. They just do whatever they want.
I'm
learned
not
it in
Amish, but I'm a slow driver. I do have a question for you though, Krista. So an influencer, I'm always fascinated by this because I'm not. So
Yes, you are.
I'm influenced.
Actually, I did kind of become an influencer thanks to Gina because she's the one that told me to put that little albino raccoon onto the TikTok. And I didn't have one before that either. Now I have like over 20,000 followers, but I have to ask you this. I get a lot of really weird messages. So sort of people kind of take ownership and develop an intimate relationship with you by avenue of your TikToks. Do you get a lot of really strange or bizarre interactions, and how do you deal with that?
Honestly, I don't. I really don't. I get a lot of spam accounts that follow me, and I am constantly just like blocking those spam accounts. But I honestly don't think I've had a weird DM. I
Must
had
be
one
my
girl
lips
message
then.
me.
Okay, your one girl message you and what?
Oh, she was just like being nice. She was like, I like your videos, and she was like telling me about her life and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not trying to make friends with like this random person, so I just kind of stopped responding.
You should say, my friend card. Thank you for enjoying my videos. My friend card is full. When I have an opening, though, I will contact you. I will contact you.
Why did my mind immediately jump to the top 8 on MySpace?
Oh
Like,
my
sorry,
God.
it's full. Maybe next week. Or like when you were mad at your best friend, you take them off.
MySpace to TikTok. Love it. That's where we've gone.
I love how Kimberly thinks. She's like, bitch, I'm gonna get you. This is how petty I am. I'm gonna remove you off my top 8.
And then you just
Oh,
notice one day, like, excuse me, why am I not in your top 8 anymore?
I have that happen a lot. Like, okay, so all of a sudden, like, someone's name comes to mind. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen them in my feed in a while. And then you go to them and you see that you've been unfriended. You're like, oh, you bitch.
That happens to me all the time. It makes me so sad. I'm like, I'm literally checking up on you. Why did you defriend me? That is so rude.
I'm always surprised when somebody announces that they did a purge of their friends list and I'm still in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how many have you been not included in that you haven't seen? That's what I want to know.
I'm sure quite a few.
All right. So Krista's name on TikTok is that name OMG, is that name taken, right? That's your name on on TikTok, Krista. OMG, is that name taken? Okay. So you've done a couple of TikToks. I wanted to run it by everyone else. First of all, the fun fact about yourself. Now, Krista, what was your fun fact about yourself?
Fun fact about me.
Do you remember?
No, I don't remember. Oh, I've never been to the Cheesecake Factory.
Yes, you've never been to the Cheesecake Factory. You've never been to the Cheesecake Factory.
There are 2 of us, Krista.
I know 2.
3.
Well, who's 3? Ashley. Oh, Ashley, you would lose your
Okay. Ashley, you guys eat out like it's like your religion. How have you not been to a Cheesecake Factory?
There isn't one within like my 2-mile vicinity of restaurants I eat at.
Okay.
So
It's not Taco Bell.
yeah, it's not Taco Bell. Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
Oh man.
Ashley, you would lose your mind.
You gotta go.
Cheesecake
Where's
Factory.
the closest one?
The closest one would be Novi. I looked it up yesterday. Novi, which is about less than an hour from here, about an hour from here, probably.
Ashley, don't go an hour to the Cheesecake Factory. That's something you go to if you're in the area. I feel totally differently about the Cheesecake Factory. It's just okay. Like, it's overpriced. There's a giant book for a menu. I don't want a book. And it's not, I mean, it's just okay. When I took the girls to Chicago, we went to Legoland. We went to the Willis Tower. It was just a quick, like, 2-day trip. And the most expensive thing we did in Chicago was the Cheesecake Factory. No joke. It's ridiculous. It was like $125 for me and 2 kids.
Yeah, I feel like if your menu
expensive.
I feel like if your menu is more than like 2.5 pages, you're doing too much.
Yeah, well, and I do agree with that because, like, you need to. If you're I always skeptical of restaurants that have like hey, we're gonna do Lebanese food, and we've got spaghetti and meatballs, and we've got, it's a little bit. I'm like, hey, you gotta pick one, buddy. You can't be good at everything. You need to pick one. So I am skeptical at restaurants to do that. Except Cheesecake Factory, I tend to give them a pass for some reason. I don't know
because they name themselves Cheesecake Factory, so you have to love it.
Exactly, it's true. And their
cheesecake. Do they have cheesecake?
Yeah, their cheesecake is very, very good, but it's $15 a slice.
Yeah,
is it
a big slice?
You'd be like, I'm in the mood for cheesecake, and all of a sudden you see this giant sign, Cheesecake Factory. You're like, that's where they are, and you go there, and there's no cheesecake on the menu.
I mean,
there is cheesecake, and it is very good, and they're pretty large pieces, but $15, it better be a whole cheesecake.
Right, exactly. Yeah. One piece of cake. All right. So, does anyone have a fun fact they'd like to share about themselves that to go along with that?
I got one.
Okay, go ahead, Tiefel.
All right. So when I was 7.5, 8 years old, I got sent home with a contract and everything, and I was this close to being lucky on General Hospital.
Oh, shit.
What? You are so unlucky. What happened?
Nope. My mom. It was during a time when my mom was bedridden with her MS. And she was super into the soap operas, and they decided they were bringing Luke and Laura back. And if you guys don't know who they are, back in the 70s, they were the power couple on the show, saving the world every week. And they decided they were bringing them back in the 90s. And this time they were bringing them with a kid. So while they were off and about doing their other adventures, they had a kid, and that was Lucky. And they offered it to an experienced child actor who turned it down. So they held open auditions, and my mom was like, you've got to go. And I went, and I was one of like 3 people that showed up and read. And apparently I was slightly better than the other 2 because they sent me home with a contract. And while we were reviewing the contract, they called us up later that night saying that the child actor's agent talked him into taking the role. Oh. So they were rescinding the offer. And now that son of a bitch is still playing that role.
Still?
This sounds exactly like Tiefel's love life. Like that he just described dating.
Tiefel was almost not a loser.
Yeah, he was slightly better than the others, and then she went back to her ex.
So, yep.
Wow.
So my life could have been on a completely different trajectory had I gotten that part.
Yes, it would have been sensational.
Imagine.
Yeah,
either that, or I would have lost the part when puberty hit me like a Mack truck, and then they would have been like, "Yeah, that's not cute anymore."
Yeah, because I'm looking at you now, and you don't look like Lucky. Like it wouldn't have worked
not at
out.
All. Not at all. That I mean, I imagine there'd be more maintenance on my body.
Yeah, I was gonna say they would have fixed you up to make you look the part. You would have been fine. You would have done it.
Natasha,
this is the body you get when things slack.
Yeah, Natasha just checked. She's like, Ashley, and then she says, "Oh, good morning, everyone else."
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh my god,
it's been a while.
Okay, so this is another one I thought was funny on Krista's page, her TikTok page, was holiday. Oh, does anyone else have a fun fact about themselves they'd like to share?
Mine has nothing to do with being a child actor. But I didn't think until I was like 14 that ducks could fly.
Really? I just never saw ducks fly.
Listen, there are flightless birds.
Yeah.
But can they fly though? I'm like sitting here thinking, do they?
They do. They do fly. But like,
I don't know if I've ever seen one fly.
I always thought that ducks were like
water birds.
Right, they were on the ground. They just stayed down with us, and I saw a duck fly, and it blew my mind.
How did you think they got from lake to lake?
Waddling.
Just walking.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. How do you get places?
I have a car.
Your feet.
Car. But if I had the power of flight, I'd be flying.
That's a good question, Kimberly. He waddles as well from lake.
I see. I saw
I waddle from the couch to the fridge.
Oh, that's a good one. All right. Anyone else have a fun fact they'd like to share?
I have a fun fact. I got on an airplane in December and I didn't die.
That is really fun, Ashley.
That's actually for those that don't know, that's actually a huge personal growth for Ashley.
Yes, it really is.
It is. And I didn't have any panic attacks or anything. It was really good. I actually enjoyed it.
On a scale of like Mr. Rogers to Amy Winehouse, how drunk were you when you got on the plane?
Oh, no, I wasn't really bad actually. I was functioning.
But that's huge and then now I'm guessing that you'll fly now no matter what. You've conquered that. Would you say?
Oh, Ashley, does this mean our trip to Cancun is on?
I'm not going that far yet, but I told Donnie, I was like, we could fly to New York City. Maybe I could go there.
Oh,
baby steps.
Like, I'm still like not even. I don't even know if I could go to like California yet. I'm not that far.
By the way, good morning, Donnie. By the way, funny, Ted Tiefel, Chris Tiefel's dad says, fun fact about Christopher, he wanted to be a bowling policeman cowboy.
Shut up, Dad. Shut up, Dad.
A what?
Sounds like a stripper.
So there exists a picture of me at some point in my young childhood, in my naivete, wearing a gi, cowboy boots, and all that stuff, looking pretty badass, if you ask me.
So, like a cowboy police officer who bowls as a hobby? Is that what like a bowling?
No. The bowling would still be professional.
Dad Tiefel, why are you making fun of him? His dreams didn't come true. It's your fault.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dude, we were at a restaurant Sunday called the Black Pearl, and it's a great restaurant. They have amazing prime rib.
Did you have the molasse?
The what?
The mother of all sandwiches?
No, I did not. I had the prime rib.
I thought that was the Dagwood.
So we're leaving.
Isn't that like a? Oh, sorry.
So we're leaving, and there's a private room right at the exit / entrance, and there was a birthday party going on in there. Huge, like probably 15 girls, and they were all African American girls. They're sitting there and having fun or whatever. So I said I'm gonna go in there and say something to them. And my wife and kids were like, "No, you're not." And I was like, "Yeah, just on the way out, I'm gonna say something." So the wife and kids darted out first and left me last. So I jump in the room. I'm like, "I'm your stripper," and they went crazy. I'm like, "I'm white chocolate."
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
How much money did you make?
I told him
they made him pay them.
Right.
I told him my stripper name was White Chocolate. I said, I'm white on the top, but I'm chocolate from the waist down, you ladies. And
has the diabetes progressed that far? I'm sorry.
Eugenia. All right. So back over to Chris. By the way, Donnie, we're talking to Krista, who's a TikTok influencer. And I was talking about one of her videos yesterday, and this is my favorite one. She's talking about holiday family traditions in one of her videos, and it blew my mind. Krista, you got to tell us about you letting someone do something for your holiday family tradition. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like most families, our family is real big on the deviled eggs. Yeah. Like, as soon as they come out, everybody just put 6 of them in their mouth at the same time. Okay. And one year, I don't know if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas or what it was. One of my family members, a different family member than who usually made the deviled eggs, volunteered to make them. We're like, okay, we'll give this person a shot. No. And so once the deviled eggs, there needs to be
an audition for these things.
There should be. There should be like a recipe review and
especially if it's a staple.
Yeah, if it's the biggest day, you need to let them at least do it. Maybe they do them for I don't know, for March, for St. Patty's Day or something. You don't give them the big holiday yet. You gotta get. There's got to be a tryout. You don't just give someone the biggest stage. It's like you can't let Chris Tiefel perform at the Super Bowl. He's got to start with General Hospital first. So you just said, all right, hey, you want to do deviled eggs? Go ahead, just do them.
I guess. I mean, in hindsight, it was somebody fucked up.
Obviously, sink. Wait. Well, we haven't let her finish.
It's a
sink. Maybe they did amazing. We're just assuming it was not good.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ashley. Okay, so what happened?
So the different family member made the deviled eggs, and we started, digging into them and eating them, and they were so freaking bad. They were so terrible, and we're like it's just off. Like, what is wrong with this?
Almost like maybe they put like cinnamon or something in there. Like they didn't taste like deviled eggs where you're like, oh, there's some ingredient in here that's making it weird.
Too much egg, not enough devil.
That would have been better. Even cinnamon would have been better. He put tuna in them.
Tuna!
What the fuck?
Oh my god! I wish we could have just screenshot every single person's face on that because we all did the same thing.
I'm gonna go back, Ashley, and get that moment, and that'll be our thumbnail because that is. Oh my gosh! Did you disown them?
I don't know. I want to try this.
But here's the thing.
You're not.
Here's the thing. Maybe I wouldn't.
That's shocking.
If I knew,
yeah, exactly.
It's
you know something's wrong if I'm not going to eat it.
If I knew that they were going to be tuna, it'd be okay. But without heads up, no.
Yeah, I don't think surprise tuna is ever a good thing in any scenario. Like, I can't think of a single place where it's like, oh, yay, tuna! I wasn't expecting that is a good thing.
Right.
I feel okay. Now, at risk of making myself throw up, was this actual just like he threw the can of tuna in the mix and mixed it around, or did he puree the tuna to blend in with everything else?
He just threw it in the mix and mixed it in. So it still looked like a normal deviled egg, like the consistency.
Like for me, maybe on anything, surprise meatballs, yes, but surprise tuna, I'm never gonna go. Ooh,
there's not. I'm telling you.
When have you ever had a surprise meatball?
I know. I was just
also that.
Surprise! Here's your meatball.
Just walking down the street, you get a meatball to the face. You're like, yes, surprise meatballs.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of something delicious that.
It's like when the family member that doesn't normally make the turkey for Thanksgiving makes it. Andrew makes it. Surprise! There's meatballs inside.
That wouldn't be a surprise, Donnie. I feel like that'd be something surprising about the turkey if Andrew made it. Yeah,
it's called a meatball.
Yeah.
A turball. Actually, that sounds amazing. Turball.
I actually wonder if that can be done.
Oh, fuck. Here goes Tiefel. That's going to be his next Facebook post.
Dude, I'm coming over, Tiefel.
Lunch for the week. My turball.
I have to wait till spring because it's a season of soup.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Okay. I'm just saying I want to try these tuna eggs. I'm still trying to think of a clever name for them, but I really
Chris
can't.
Said you don't, Donnie. Just trust her. Just trust her.
You need to change like the deviled egg surprise.
Yeah.
That was lame.
Shut up, Gina. All right. One more that I thought was good for Krista. Talk about what you were not allowed to watch on TV as a kid.
Oh my gosh. I feel like there were so many more, and that's why I had to do a response video to the one question. But the ones that came to mind, my parents were super strict, and now they're like totally different. Like they don't care. But when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to watch Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, no MTV until I was 13, no rated R movies until I was 17, because that's the age on the on the disclaimer.
Your parents followed the age and the actual.
They played it by the book.
They did. And the first rated R movie I watched was like my neighbors were watching a movie, and I remember like running home to be like, Mom, this is rated R. Am I allowed to watch it? It was fucking Alien. Like I gave a shit about watching that movie.
I know.
Now look, she's like fuckity fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So, anyone not allowed to watch things? For me, my mom was pretty liberal to where I can't think of anything that I ever couldn't watch. Was anyone banned from watching anything? I know. Go ahead, Donnie.
Scarface. When Scarface came out, and it was like the biggest movie.
I kind of see that though. Like, it's probably not a good idea to show your kid, snorting rails and
like as a kid, you're trying to imagine like what this movie is about, and all I could picture was just a dude with a giant scar on his face. I don't know. Like, so okay, there's a guy. He's got some trauma, and he gets into some shenanigans. It's all I know. I'm 5 years old. I don't know, but that was it. Scarface.
Anyone else?
My situation was probably really similar to Krista's. There was no TRL. We weren't allowed to watch that after school. I know. I was at a birthday party one time.
Wait.
Yeah. Well, I was at a birthday one time. I had to call my mom and ask her permission to watch the movie that was being watched at the slumber party. And the big one was I wasn't allowed to see Titanic.
Oh, see, my mom took me to the theater to watch Titanic, so I don't understand her logic. And she didn't like cover my eyes or anything.
Hold on, I'm with your mom on that one because I love Titanic. It's like obviously an epic movie of all proportions, but I'm not ready to let my daughters watch it because they're gonna be like their lives are gonna like their childhood will end that day. So it's like I'm thinking like 13, 14 for the youngest one, and then we'll all watch it together. We'll cry for 7 weeks, and then our life will go on. But yeah, I'm with her on the Titanic. It's just
your heart will go on.
My parents just did cover my eyes when the sex scene came on, but the fingers were always a little bit apart, so I could see it anyway.
Oh,
I went to Titanic with my friends, and I fell asleep.
I laughed when the ship breaks in half and a guy's like hanging on, he falls, and they made the sound effect. It was like tink when he hit the propeller.
Yeah.
And I just lost my shit and started laughing. Like it wasn't like it was funny that he died. It was like, why would you put that sound effect in there?
Don't forget he hits the propeller and then he starts spinning. I'm sorry. I know.
Right. So you know the part. Like the whole movie is sad or whatever. And then there's that one fucking part that's like the guy's like, tink. And he just starts spinning. I'm like, what the hell?
Have you guys all seen Roadhouse?
Yes.
With Patrick Swayze?
I can't remember.
So,
Don, have I seen that too?
Is that when he pulls someone's neck out?
Yes.
Yeah. He's a bouncer. He goes and cleans up clubs. So I somehow ended up watching this with my sister when I was younger, and we're watching it, and you get that quintessential '80s scene where he's driving down the highway, and then there's cute girls in the convertible next to him, and they're side eyeing each other and laughing and whatnot. She rewinds the scene, and I yell at her. She's like, "I like the song," and that's playing over the whole thing. So we watch the scene again. Then you get to the point where he's in his barn loft apartment in the middle of this farm, and it's the sex scene of the movie, the big quintessential sex scene of the movie. Watch the whole thing through, awkward enough with your sister, and just to get back at her, I rewound it to play the scene again, and she starts yelling at me, and I'm like, I just like the song. I like the song that is playing.
How far apart were those things? Like how long was it before that second thing happened?
It's like a half hour.
Oh, okay. So I'm just making sure you didn't hold on to that shit for years, and then like years later, you're just super petty and did that.
I wanted to move on. Speaking of television, I wanted to move on to something else. By the way, did anyone else have anything that they weren't allowed to watch? Or did we kind of get?
I wish my mom would have not let me watch a lot of shit, but she was like, whatever, I don't care what you're doing.
Same
if
with
you're
me.
quiet, if you shut up, I'll let you watch whatever.
My mother was not a helicopter parent. She had left on a jet plane. I was a middle of life baby. She was like 30 years old when she had me. So she was like, you know what? Take care of yourself. I'll be at the Copper Penny having a beer.
Pat you on the ass and send you in front of the TV.
So I wanted to talk about I watched this Janet Jackson documentary. I don't know if you guys watched over the weekend, but it was really big. It was 2 hours on Friday, 2 hours on Saturday. And Janet was a big part of it. I think she was producing it. And I thought it was really good. There was one thing I wanted to bring up was Janet's dad. By the way, Donnie, did anyone want to say something? Did anyone else watch it, or did anyone want to say?
No, but after you do this part, I actually had a meltdown yesterday morning. I don't know if Ashley remember
a complete meltdown, actually. So that's funny that you brought it up.
Why?
I didn't watch the special, but like we're still supposed to believe that the whole boob thing was an accident because they're denying that they did it on purpose. And we're just not that stupid. It's 15 years later. Nobody cares. It's because she's afraid to get sued by everyone in the world that was watching the Super Bowl.
Isn't the narrative that Justin did it and Janet wasn't in on it?
Whatever they're trying to make.
I don't understand why anyone's mad that they got to see Janet's nipple. People have been dreaming of that for years and years, and there's her nip for all of us.
They were already on the poster.
We should be thankful to
Justin. Sold at MTV or at
Spencer, the problem is too. Check this. So Janet's career actually stumbled because of that, and she was banned from the Grammys and stuff. But Justin, this is how backwards we have been as a society when it comes to women. She gets banned for the Grammys. His career skyrockets. It's like,
but was she really banned?
It was
like,
her
did
stunt.
all of that really happen?
It was her performance. Justin was just like coming along for the surprise. She met with the designer. She designed the shirt. She planned it out. Her team planned it out. So yeah, of course, they're both responsible. They both did it, but it wasn't an accident. That's the whole point. It's just it's
Nipplegate.
It's Nipplegate, and nobody that really cared about the game cared that much. It was in the middle of the Super Bowl. So you really think you're going to take that? I mean, obviously afterwards, we're still talking about 15 years later, but at the time we're like, oh, that was weird. Now get back to the game because we got to see who won.
I still don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Like,
it was a nipple and
it's
it
a
was 15
nipple.
years ago. The reality is when you think about something in that context, I mean, to me, the nucleus of the issue is the cultural hypocrisy on how we persecute women for having a body and a visibility, but we celebrate men for doing the same thing. And that's been a through line for 15 years and is still ongoing to this day should be the moments that we meet rather than but it's about Janet and her nipple. Girl,
right.
her
I
nipple
agree
is
100%. I agree 100%, but like
I could see us all like wanting to talk about her nipple if it had teeth. If there was something really weird.
I just think it was a stunt that backfired because obviously she'd got banned from the Grammys and this and that, but she would have been in so much more legal trouble if they would have just admitted the truth.
That's why they're denying it, because
if they would have just admitted the truth.
Exposure.
But what legal trouble, like with who?
All of the contracts that
the FCC regulations and all that stuff.
So they just blame it on Justin Timberlake and then act like he's like womanizer or something. Like, I don't get it.
No, he took absolutely zero blame.
Go ahead, Ashley is not into your stuff, Donnie. She does not care.
15 years ago, I was. Oh shit, I'm older now. Never mind. I was going to say 15 years ago I was 15. I am not 30 anymore. But
15 years ago I was 30. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't give a shit. Yeah, no.
Here's why I bring this up is because we've all heard for years, we all hate their father, Joe Jackson. You know, he beat him, he was strict, he was an asshole. But I have a newfound respect for Joe Jackson after watching this because they were living in Gary, Indiana. 9 or 10 people were living in a 2-bedroom, 600 square foot house in Gary, Indiana, one of the poorest cities in the country with the highest murder rate per capita for many, many years. You go outside, like they talked to Randy Jackson. He said, many of the people my age are either in jail or they're dead from going outside. So Dad would go to work and he played instruments in his part-time. And he came home, you know, one day or a couple days or whatever, and the kids one of them was playing his guitar, and then Mom was like, look, and they're harmonizing, they sound really good. And that's when the light bulb went off for him. He's like, oh, fuck, this is my ticket out of here. So, you know, if your kid does anything competitive, which my kid does, you know, baton or whatever, you have to be on their asses. He saw this as the only way out for the whole family. He saw it as a betterment for them. He was hard. Like, you look back and look at what they say about him. They don't speak poorly of him. They're like, yeah, he was strict and yeah, he was kind of an asshole, but he had a vision for these. You know, you got boys running around. Boys are the worst. Like, I could never have boys. They're the worst human beings. I was the worst human being on the planet. Like, they're
I feel judged.
They're the worst people, and they're running around. They want to do whatever they want. You have to be strict. If this is their ticket out of the ghetto, like they couldn't even go outside. Like if they went outside
and here to be attacked,
he would be pissed. But it was because all the drugs were out there. People were doing bad shit out there. I mean, he was strict because
so he didn't beat them.
He did, but he wanted to get them the fuck out of there. Like they had.
Okay, I understand now. Beat them out of the hood. Exactly how you should.
Joe Jackson is proof that that you can beat your children into greatness, but there's a limit, and he's past that limit.
I'm just saying, like they don't even They don't even.
It's okay that they carry all that trauma because they're rich now, so it doesn't matter that they're.
And they don't live in the ghetto.
The end result, they got out of the ghetto. They're living in Encino in a they went from Gary, Indiana, a 600 square foot house to a 3-acre mansion in Hollywood.
Oh, Andrew, God, stop it. I disagree with you on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to too, because do you see how traumatized those people are? That all the money in the world, and they're still fucked up individuals. All of them. They all have so many
one's
issues.
dead.
But they're alive. But
well,
no,
they're not alive.
Except for one.
And we don't even know that they're even the same people.
We
because of all
lost
the
one on the way.
surgery.
Here's the thing. If they were in Gary, Indiana, more would be dead. Half of them would be in jail. Now we just lost one.
So if money's your only motivator, then sure. Then Joe Jackson was a great dad. But he's
follow
not.
this
He
up
was
with
a
I would
piece of
never.
shit
Oh, I'm sorry, Gina. I thought you were
that put money over his children.
Good.
Sorry, Gina.
Yeah.
Andrew, you have to end this with I would never do what he did to my kids.
Of course not.
But I could see how he thought it was the
Of
only
course he
guy.
wouldn't. He has all daughters.
My kids aren't in peril. They're not in danger when they walk out the door. So
I don't know how you're waxing poetic about Joe Jackson. I don't know about the danger thing.
They're not in danger when they walk out the door, Tifo. Out.
I would like for someone to comment if they agree with Andrew. Because so far.
Oh, don't ask that.
They're
There's going to be plenty of people like, hell yeah, whip them kids' ass.
The thing, you watch the kids and they don't speak poorly of their father, even though he's dead. Like they're not scared of him anymore.
That's because they're not entirely sure that he's dead. He might pop out of the bush somewhere and come after him.
There's so much trauma carried with abuse that
But the kids even say, "Hey, he was strict, but this is what our life would have been if he hadn't been strict."
I had an abusive stepdad, so I do that too. Still, I just went to therapy yesterday. I can understand why he was like that. It doesn't. I mean, it's just something that you do to rationalize it, to make it okay for now, so you don't completely lose your shit.
All right. All right. Well, maybe I'm in the minority.
Sorry.
I promise that you are.
Gina. All right. All right, everyone. Welcome to the show. We've got TikTok influencer Krista. We got meteorologist Kimberly Newman from the Victory Center.
Yeah, I have to go, and I really want to hear Kimberly. I'm sorry, and I have to apologize to Kimberly really quick because I called her a weather person yesterday. and it was only because I couldn't think of the word. Like sometimes words are really hard, and there's another word for it, and I just couldn't think of it. So I was like, whatever, weather person.
It's funny because
wait, is weather person offensive?
Well, I mean, she's a scientist. She's a meteorologist.
Yeah, she actually went to school. She's this is a big pet peeve for Ginger Z because they still she's the
good friend Ginger Z.
Yeah, she's the first head meteorologist of a network.
She's my friend now too.
She's Ashton's gonna be wearing that 6 months from now. Like, have you met Ginger Z? I have.
She's
biggest moment of my life.
She's reached the epitome of the weather industry by being head of a network in the meteorology department, and people still will call her Weather Girl or talk about her clothes or whatever.
Well, no, I can see how Weather Girl
fucking
is bad.
Scientist, you fucking asshole. I'm not a weather girl. Get the fuck out of here. I'm in school for this.
It's 2022. I just want to make sure that I get my language correct. All right, meteorology.
Weather girl is not interested. Yeah, so weather girl is not correct.
No, I didn't say weather girl. I said weather person.
Oh, all right.
I did too.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
You gotta go.
Hard feelings. Wait, Kimberly. So I didn't know you were a meteorologist. What's your last name? Newman.
Kimberly Newman. She was on Channel 11. She was on 24.
I was gonna say, I'm like, your face looks so familiar, and I'm like, how do I know you?
Awesome. And she did a whole weather report for us at the beginning. I'll have to go back and listen.
I want to know.
I didn't know you did in the beginning. I missed it. I was seriously contemplating not coming on today because I was just having a really rough morning. That's why I was late. And now I'm really pissed because the main motivator was like, I really want to talk to Kimberly about this weather, and I missed the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, real quick, she did say if superintendents were smart, they would cancel tomorrow because tomorrow afternoon it's going to get bad and it could be tough with buses and stuff. And then Thursday is a no-go for, and there's there's no variation from that.
And Kimberly, how sure are you?
100%.
Thank
you. I said Kimberly. Your name is not Kimberly, sir. You are not a meteorologist. Please stop talking.
He's a weather boy.
He's an island boy.
I'm a weather boy.
It depends on which aspect you're asking about. So when it comes to a storm like this, you're always thinking about three things. It's the intensity, duration, and location. And so about the intensity, I'm 100% certain. About the location, I'm about 85% certain. And then about the duration, I'm like 99% certain.
Okay.
What's the 85%? Like, where else could it go? You think like it won't be in this area?
Right. So when we look at the forecast, it's different models. And so what we're looking at is something that's high resolution, low resolution, long range, short range. The short range models have only just come into visibility now because they go out 84 hours about. And so in the next 84 hours, this event is going to occur. But up until today, we couldn't see that data. So now I have more information that unfortunately confuses the pool a little bit. So the long range models had it bullseye right over the top of us. The National Weather Service has the winter storm warning right over the top of us, Lucas County included. The short range models don't. So it could go a little farther south where we get more snow, or, and this is my worry, if it goes a little farther north, we get more ice, which means the accumulation is an absolute bust. That's only about a 15% uncertainty, but it's still worth considering, which is why a lot of meteorologists are just really trigger shy about issuing those accumulation forecasts. When you don't have the short range model data within those 84 hours, you're relying on something that has a much, much broader base of data to take into account with a different algorithm.
And that's why you get the 0 to 36.
Honestly, that's why we do ranges. Yes. So now I think the range that most folks are going with is 10 to 16 inches. My personal take on it would be about a foot. 12 inches sounds like we're right in there, but I would say it's probably on the lower end.
I actually have a meteorology question I've always wanted an answer to.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. When they're like, there's a 30% chance of rain or something. I've heard two different explanations. I've heard that they're actually giving odds, or that they're saying 30% of the area is going to get rain. Which is it?
Neither.
Thank you. All right, what is it? What does it mean when they say 30% chance of rain?
There are two factors that go into that, just like what I just mentioned. So it's location and it's timing. So the location has to do with, so in Toledo, we're covering 22 counties across southern Michigan and northwest Ohio. So a 20% chance may mean 20% of the area, but it's also extrapolated along with the timing. So if the rain happens at midnight and leads overnight into the next day, that's less of a chance to have an impact on your day. So it would be a lower percentage. And meteorologists do not have a consistent rule of thumb for percentages. The only rule that I know most meteorologists follow is never to use 50, because you don't want to give a 50-50 chance.
Right.
So if you get a 60% chance, that's a lot more favorable. If you get a 40% chance, it's a lot less favorable, but it's area and timing that are included in that percentage.
For me, to keep my job, every forecast would be 50-50.
Is Voldemort on this with us, or is somebody getting feedback? Because I'm pretty sure Voldemort is talking to me right now.
You said it twice now.
I don't know what that roar is.
It's Voldemort, you guys. This is it.
I actually have a
I have a
weather-related
meteorologist question.
Oh,
go ahead, Felix.
Okay, let me just squeeze this in here really quick, honey, because my hair's bigger than yours today. So let me just ask you this. Here's the thing: is you are a meteorologist, and I'm a big weather fan. Like I used to watch the Weather Channel 24 hours a day because I would, pleasure myself to Carl Parker shirtless. So here's the thing.
I can't.
All right. So here is the thing. Like, I am a big fan of meteor. I find him fascinating. So my question is a more personal question. At what point were you like, you were a young lady and you were thinking about, well, what am I going to do when I grow up? And, I could run a marathon. I could become an Amish. I could do whatever. You know what? I'm gonna obsess over the weather. I'm going to be like a meteorologist. How do you migrate from, kind of like ballerina presidential dreams or whatever, or anything in between, to saying, I'm obsessed with the weather, and that's what I'm going to do for my living.
Yeah. There were 2 phases in my decision. So the first one, easiest question ever, was in 8th grade. Our earth science teacher was a meteorologist on TV in the 80s. And it was like the golden age of television. Every story he told us was just dreamy. I mean, they were the absolute end all be all. And he talked about that with such a fondness that I thought to have that kind of influence, but to still be a storyteller in life was really just super attractive to me. And I also loved math and science. So it was a natural path for me.
Sounds like you're in love with him.
Oh, he was like 85 years old by the time he was my teacher. And I swear to you, like not a single student thought this guy was uncool. He just had it, like X Factor.
It's funny. Did everyone have that teacher in school where they thought was the coolest? Like my kids, I have kids that 2 of them go to the high school, Perrysburg High School, and they're not they're not in the same classes or anything, but they both come home with Mr. D stories. Oh,
that's a really cool story, bro. But can she finish hers, please? Because I really want to know. I really want to know how she became a meteorologist. I really want to know what inspired you. Your teacher inspired you. This man inspired you to become a meteorologist.
Failing, goddammit.
Yeah, well, only because he presented it as an option. I think up until that point, I didn't realize that was a job that you could have, especially because I didn't see people who represented me on TV. I was only seeing men as meteorologists at that point in my life. So I had a couple of teachers who really, kind of pushed me down that path along the way. And then once I got to college and I was studying meteorology and I had made that solid decision, I would say 90% of my class were going into research or National Weather Service or, essentially jobs that you would end up sitting behind a desk and doing, it felt like busy work to me. So while I really enjoyed the forecasting aspect of it, I still wanted to be a storyteller. And that's when broadcasting became really appealing to me. So we actually had a class in my junior year of college that was taught by a local meteorologist who was on WSYR in Syracuse, New York. And he really talked about having a solid foundation of science first and being a scientist first, and then presenting that story to the masses while being someone that people can turn to and trust and, putting it into layman's terms. So the complicated things that you understand is something you can share with other people. And that was super appealing to me. So then I turned from meteorology as a core study to broadcast meteorology.
That is incredible. Thank you so much. Congratulations on a job well done, too.
Ashley, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just thinking about like memes that are like, oh, weather forecast or weather forecaster. The only job you can have where you're wrong and still keep a job. Does that totally piss you off? Because it makes me angry and I'm not a meteorologist.
I'm not.
You're sweet. Yeah, you're sweet. It was something that I had to get used to really fast early on because people will approach you in public too. And they'll say it to your face. And then it's very disarming,
because I've been wrong about a lot of shit in my life and no one's ever approached me in public.
Yeah. If I got called out every time that I'm wrong about something, I just wouldn't leave the house.
Right. It got tricky.
Well, you don't, people, anyways, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It got really tricky at the beginning.
Sometimes I have to joke.
Used to it.
Yeah. All right. People, you had a story real quick before we go, and I know you're going to do WTF News, and we're running late. Gina, are you staying around, or you got to go?
I mean, so I really do have to go. I'm making a choice to be late today because I haven't seen Ashley in months, and Kimberly is amazing, and Chris is amazing, and I miss Phelan.
Phelan?
Oh, I had to save my best for last. Phelan is I love Phelan. I don't think you guys know. Phelan is truly like a sister to me. I absolutely love her.
Gina.
So I'm here and I'm staying.
Gina, complete the heart.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
Other side.
All of you are going the same direction.
There you go.
That
just made my day. I'm going to have an amazing day now.
Babe, let's do it.
Ashley.
Wait, Kim got it.
We got to do everybody? Oh, wait.
Where?
I got
I don't
arthritis.
know.
Okay,
here we go.
guys, that heart needs a defibrillator.
We're a mess.
Hey, I got it.
All right. All right, let's take control again. Tifel,
I feel like I'm doing the claw.
everyone's making hearts. All right. Tifel, did you have a story for us? Did you want to share?
February 1st, okay? It's the month of love. It's
It is
time
a
to do
month of
it.
love. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead, Tifel.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, we all learned on the last episode of Tifel dating that I got stood up and everything.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd let y'all know that.
Kimberly, look at him. I mean, come on.
Ouch.
We're being honest.
Andrew.
Krista,
She
we're
showed up
mean.
and saw
Krista's
you and
sitting
then
there
left.
like, I don't want any part of this. You guys are awful, mean, horrible humans.
No, I was gonna let you know that things have improved. I had a date this weekend that ended up being 7 hours long. It's only supposed to be a couple-hour lunch date.
Yay! Those are the
Oh.
best days.
He just didn't shut up, you guys, and she didn't want to be mean.
She did a lot of the talking on there, but it was.
Did it end with a handy?
Andrew, you're so rude. Of course it did. Don't
It's
ask
not
though.
even 7:30 in the morning. Can you
7
calm
hours.
down?
No, and what was funny about it is
Good.
it was only supposed to be a couple hours over lunch because she had other plans in the evening that ended up canceling on her while we were together. So things ended up standing from there. But I had completely not been paying attention to the passage of time, and I was supposed to go to my father's house because he was using his new pizza oven for the first time. And so then they're texting me and calling me, wondering where I am.
If she was honest with you and said, I had my plans canceled, so I'm going to hang out with you longer, and you would have been like, oh, well, my dad has a new pizza oven.
I gotta go. I gotta see this pizza oven.
I gotta go.
Sorry.
So
By the way, those weren't real plans that she had. Those were her out.
no, they were real.
Those are
from-
Talk about gazelling someone.
They're
That
backup
would have been
plans.
amazing, Tifel. You would have definitely got a second date if you did that.
Your dad says, yes, I got stood up for a girl. A girl.
Yeah, you did. And you know what? It'll happen again.
Right?
I hope so.
Wow.
I think he hopes so too.
Yeah.
I don't think he's actually complaining about that. I'm
Yeah,
sure
no,
he's
I ended
kidding.
up showing up later in the evening to try out his pizza, which was quite good on there. But
Tifel, your
I was
fun
just all apologetic.
you didn't share it, but Tifel's fun fact is in the new millennium he hasn't had any. So
No, that is not my fun fact.
Andrew,
and
stop.
not accurate.
Leave Tifel's penis alone, dude. You're
and
always
not
on
accurate
it.
at all.
What in the world?
all right.
Tifel has a spring in his step, I can tell. So I wouldn't agree with that. All
He
the way.
does.
You never know.
I'm really happy for you, Tifel. That sounds amazing. Anybody
I
that can
am
listen to you
too.
talk for 7 hours has got to be a wonderful human. So I'm
Ouch.
thankful.
Or deaf.
So no, which is well, but I'm also hoping that Kim's dire predictions of the area don't hold true, so that the roads stay passable because we have tentative plans for this weekend.
We'll just
assuming
get her
we're not
today,
stuck at
and then
home.
you guys can be snowed in together.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
it's
then
a
she'll
Hallmark
leave,
movie.
Ashley.
Yeah. My entire goal in life is not to be the creepy guy that everyone assumes I am, and trapping the woman in my apartment probably.
That's how I got
not gonna
Donnie.
help.
I totally, if we were just dating right now, I would totally be getting a hold of him today, being like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" And then like having a bag packed in my car just in case. I got.
Could you imagine getting stuck with Tifel in one day? She's like, "I'll take my chances on the fucking blizzard, dude. I can't. I gotta go."
No, he can cook for her. I mean, what a dream,
Dude,
Snowden
I
with
want to
food.
go get snowed in with Tifel. Have you seen his food?
Yeah,
For
it's pretty
sure.
amazing. All right, Tifel, WTF News, the Ebenezer Bushrod, quick. You
I
got
do have to go, Tifel. I swear it is so late and I have to go to work. It has nothing to do with you. I love you. I
Bye,
promise.
Gina.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
this is the part of the show where Tifel gives some news. Go ahead, quickly, Tifel, because everyone's got to go. Everyone's busy.
All right. Well, it's not my fault you waited so long. All right. I just shared a video out of Salem, Pennsylvania. We have another Golden Corral brawl involving about 40 people. Police suspect it started when they started running low on steak, and then people started cutting the line on there. Like I said, I just shared the video if you want to put that up there.
What? Oh, I love the brawls at the freaking buffet.
Oh no.
Who goes to freaking Golden Corral for a steak?
People are getting a little rowdy because apparently they ran low on steak, and people were not having any of that.
I mean, you're not yourself when you're hungry, so.
Somebody needs a Snickers.
Oh, there we go. Throwing chairs, tipping over. There we go. Don't mind cut people. This is what happens.
That is a brave waitress in the middle. Like she's like stopping the table from being picked up and thrown. She gets employee of the month for sure. Gets a good parking spot.
There's no way they're paying her enough for that.
I mean, buffets are expensive though, so I can understand why that would piss you off.
Well, and you always see the Brawls. They're either at the Golden Corral or they're at the Chuck E. Cheese. Those are the two places where Brawls tend to happen.
Well, I mean, like you can't blame them. Like those commercials aren't a joke. Like you're not yourself when you're hungry. Like I'm not responsible for what I do or say if I haven't eaten in a few hours. So I mean,
yeah, but there's lots of other options there too. So
I'm throwing a table.
Yeah. There's a lot of middle ground between being grouchy and throwing a chair at someone
and a table. Yeah,
it's a thin line.
Number 2, Tifo. Number 2.
I'm sure some of you saw this last week, but I just love it so much. Out of Sioux Falls, Anastasia Elsinger ordered some Arby's through DoorDash, and on the way to deliver it, her DoorDash driver got pulled over and arrested for some warrants that he had out on him. One of the officers involved in that arrest noticed that the Arby's was sitting there, figured, hey, she's already paid for it. So he picked it up and delivered it to her house himself. So she got a little. It was the funniest thing
too.
I know.
He's like, here.
Yeah, he just tells her straight out, your DoorDash driver got arrested. Figured you'd still want your food.
Yeah, right. That was his story. He's just trying to make some extra cash while he's on duty.
Yeah.
He's like, I am the DoorDash driver.
So for a time,
he's double dipping and got caught. So he was policing and DoorDashing at the same time.
For a time, my building had a security guy that liked to dress up looking like he was a cop, and he would escort the delivery drivers to your apartment. So like DoorDash, Grubhub, any of that stuff. For some reason, he would escort them. And then he would do the cop knock on your door. So you'd look through the peephole and it just be this guy that looks like a cop outside your door. And you're like, what did I do now? And it just turns out it's your pizza.
That's like illegal. Isn't it? Dress up as a cop and pretend like you are one.
If not, it's creepy.
So this actually gives me an idea. What if 911 was an app like DoorDash, and when you actually call the police, you watch as they like, oh, he's got one more stop. He's on his way. He'll be here in the next 5 minutes.
Not a priority call.
You tell the robbery, I just got to hold him here for 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes, I'm going to catch your ass.
Why is he in this neighborhood? What is he doing there?
They have anyone closer?
Yeah.
All right, Tifo, number 3.
Upcoming Winter Olympics in China are going to be a whole lot less sexy than they normally are.
What?
Normally in Olympic villages, they're filled with stories of sexual exploits, shall we say. Young, toned, fit athletes stuck together for long periods of time. That's what I mean. They provide tons of condoms, things like that, just because they don't want anything to happen. Well, China has taken it a step further, and they have removed Grindr from all available app stores in the country.
What?
First of all, I did not know that the Chinese Olympics were the epicenter of sexual proclivities.
All Olympics.
Why have I been spending 20 years in bars?
Right? You need to become an Olympic athlete.
This makes no damn sense to my gay ass. Let me tell you right now. And to take away Grindr too. So explain to me what's the logic behind that.
While China did decriminalize homosexuality in 1997, gay marriage is still illegal, and LGBTQ issues are still controversial in the country, and they are trying to put forth what they believe is their best image forward to the world. So they're like, hey, ignore the Muslim genocide, and look how pretty everything is. And by the way, no homosex.
No homosex.
I think more importantly, they replaced the cardboard beds from Tokyo with like ergonomic beds that actually have like this guy going on. So it's unfortunate because they have a much more terrible time.
Hold up, meteorologist Kimberly. What is this guy? What is that? Explain to me. I need definition.
The Tempur-Pedic bed.
The bed that
There's
goes-
a-
Oh, okay.
It's
I thought
$60
this was
It's
a
a bit-
man.
There's
I was
an
getting
80% chance.
excited. I was like,
That's
I'm
what
going to
you said.
China.
That's what Siefel's date was doing at the end of the 7 hours. She was.
So
I don't get it, but I'm just gonna laugh for you so you don't
Thank
have
you.
to laugh
Thank
along.
you.
No.
All right, last one.
All right. Well, this one is out of Thailand and comes to you from the Journal of Medical Case Reports. Gentlemen,
Oh no.
buckle in.
Buckle in.
All right. This one's going to be a rough ride. 23-year-old Thai man was reportedly a regular cannabis user. It stopped for a while and started again. When he started again, he had the super rare side effect, as in like almost never happens to anyone, and was the inspiration for reefer madness back in the day. He had cannabis-induced psychosis. He started hearing voices, seeing hallucinations. Doctors have confirmed that the only drug in his system was marijuana. There was no other drug. There was nothing. He has no history of psychosis. He has no history in his family of any psychological issues either. They diagnosed it as one of the super rare instances of cannabis-induced psychosis, where like during this, he also had happiness in his shorts and apparently felt a pain. And during his psychotic state,
No, don't tell
used
us.
a pair of scissors to remove the pain.
No,
Nice.
bitch.
Oh my God.
That is not where I thought that was going.
Yes.
Yeah,
This
me
is the
either.
worst episode of Arts and Crafts I've ever heard.
He waited to go to the
They weren't
to the
safety
hospital.
scissors, Donnie.
No,
Yeah,
They should have been.
they should have been.
but he waited to go to the hospital for about 2 hours when he couldn't stop the bleeding himself. They were unable to reattach.
No.
So now he just has a 2 centimeter nubbin where it was.
Oh.
And
Or AKA the Tiefel.
Well, he does have a future in X-rated movies. I can already see the title, Nubbin Lovin'.
so
Nubbin but lovin'.
this man is so
Nothing but
embarrassed.
nubbin.
He's apparently abandoned his medical team, moved to another country. Even though, and they're trying to get a hold of him now to offer him reconstructive surgery, but he's apparently being unreachable right now.
Do you guys watch what is it? Ozark. You guys watch Ozark? There's one on there. The character, this woman shot this dude's peni off, and
The peni.
the
peni.
That would be like more than one.
That's more than
like-
one. Yeah.
Both of
Do
them?
you not know
How
what?
many does this
That's
man
plural.
have?
Right.
Do you have his number?
Right. Obviously, you shoot one off, that would suck, but you get both shot off. That's horrible.
Game over.
But it's like, so she shot his penis off, then his wiener, and now they're like buddies. They've reconciled. Like she's like, no hard feelings. He's like, okay, no hard feelings. You can't no hard feelings getting your wanker shut off.
Well, he definitely has no hard feelings.
All right, that is a WTF News. Ebenezer Bushrod. Thank you, Chris Stiefel. Kimberly, the Victory Center. Yeah, we talk about her meteorology throughout this whole hour because the weather coming up, but she left at the top of her game. She was like Barry Sanders with the Lions. Like she was at the top of her game and stepped away from the game, and is now with the Victory Center, which a huge, obviously a bigger calling in a way. And you've got a big event coming up, Kimberly. What is it?
Yeah, the Luncheon and Fashion Show is happening March 4th. We have 8 models on the runway who are cancer survivors, and then another 18 models who are friends of the Victory Center. What I'm really excited about is our big ticket raffle. So you can buy tickets whether or not you're going to the fashion show or not. And we're giving away a cruise, which I don't know what the temperature is of people out there now. Do you want to go on a cruise? Do you not want to go on a cruise? But the good news is we can hold the cruise and you can take it at whatever time makes makes sense and feels safe to you. That's a Caribbean cruise that was donated. It's 6 nights or 6 to 8 nights, ocean view, double occupancy room. And I mean, our donors are incredibly generous. So that is part of our big ticket raffle. We also got something I'm really excited about. And I know T-Full can cook whatever he wants at home, but this one I think tops the Cheesecake Factory. We have $1,000 voucher for a private dining experience at Final Cut over at the Hollywood Casino.
Private.
Yeah.
Wow.
So originally I thought the Hollywood Casino, who's just recently become an awesome sponsor of the Victory Center, I thought they were going to get a table and bring 10 people to sit at the fashion show. Yeah. Instead, they made this donation. So we have this awesome prize to give away. So they claim it's a 4-person voucher. I don't know if 4 people can eat $1,000 worth of food. Challenge.
Final try, you can.
Yeah.
Get a doggy bag.
You bet you can. And maybe a whole bottle of really nice wine.
She's never seen me at the Olive Garden.
I figured I'll keep breadsticks home in its own bag. So why were T-Full and Donnie P? They need to be models.
Oh my gosh, we would love to have you guys as models. What we do, so we already have all our models this year, but we're always creating a list of maybes for next year. And what we love to do is really honor people who are friends of the Victory Center. So Dan Cummins is on the runway this year. We have Mike Bell. We've got a couple other folks. Christian Brown from 13ABC is up there. And then folks who volunteer their time with us at the Victory Center. We really like to take that moment to kind of honor them and thank them. There's a couple of our board members, which I'm really excited to see up on the runway as well. And we have clothing from Ragazza, V Collection, J. Jill, and Chico's. And then we have kids up on the runway, which I'm so excited about. And the kiddos are wearing Bowinkles and Kids Clothesline. And it's such a good time. It's obviously for a great cause, but we have a teal tea that we're all sipping on. So that's our signature cocktail with a Malibu rum and blue curacao and pineapple juice. And it's
Kimberly, I've heard about this event. Are all the tickets sold out?
We have 560 seats in the ballroom, and we have about 100 left.
Oh,
all right.
Nice.
Kimberly Newman, go to the Victory Center for more details. Thank you, Kimberly Newman. We appreciate it. Thank you to our influencers, of course, Krista. Thank you. You look at her OMG. Is this name taken? Is her name on TikTok? So please follow her. Phelan Fairchild, amazing as always, and looking stunning this morning, and probably the most stunning person on the panel this morning.
I gotta work on getting my hair a little bigger.
I know. Thank you, Phelan. Always good to see you, baby. And then, of course, our Ashley P, the return of Ashley P. Everyone is super excited about that and stoked. And then there's Donnie P. But okay, and then also, no, I'm kidding.
Hey, he had plenty of years to be the star. It's my turn now.
Yes. And of course, Ashley, if you need a house, she's a realtor. So if you're in the market, go hook up Ashley. If you're in the, he's got Donnie's got cars, Ashley's got houses. So if you need a car or a house, go see the P's. And you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Don't die in the winter. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo Digital Media.
Come on!